In the summer of 2021, a young couple's dream of a cross-country adventure captured the hearts of millions online. Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, living the van life, shared their journey through stunning landscapes and carefree moments. But behind the curated posts, a darker story was unfolding, one that would end in tragedy and spark a nationwide obsession. Gabby's disappearance, Brian's silence, and a trail of chilling clues turned their fairy tale road trip into a true crime mystery that shocked the world. Tonight, we unravel the timeline of events, from the spark of their dream to the heartbreak that followed. This is the story of Gabby Petito and the lessons we can't afford to forget. Gabby Petito was 22, vibrant and full of wanderlust. A Long Island native, she had a knack for art and a passion for exploring the world. Brian Laundrie, also 22, was her fiancé, a free-spirited adventurer who shared her love for the outdoors. The couple, who met in high school, moved to Florida to live with Brian's parents and began documenting their van life on Instagram and YouTube. Their account, a nomadic static, showcased their 2012 Ford Transit van, retrofitted for a nomadic lifestyle, and their plans to travel across America's national parks. In July 2021, Gabby and Brian embarked on their dream trip, starting from New York and heading west. Their posts painted a picture of bliss, camping under starry skies in Utah, hiking in Colorado, and posing against breathtaking vistas. Gabby, with her blonde hair and infectious smile, became an influencer of sorts, sharing tips on van life and eco-friendly travel. Their followers grew, drawn to the couple's seemingly perfect adventure. But beneath the filters and hashtags, cracks were forming, cracks that would soon shatter their story and captivate the world. On August 24, 2021, Gabby Petito had her last verified communication with her mother, Nicole Schmidt, via text and FaceTime. She was in Grand Teton National Park, Wyoming, and seemed excited about her trip. But after that, her contact dwindled. On August 27th, a text from Gabby's phone mentioned spotty service in Yosemite, but her family later doubted it was her. By August 30th, Gabby's posts stopped and her calls went unanswered. Alarm bells rang for her family, who knew Gabby was never out of touch for long. Meanwhile, Brian Laundrie returned to his parents' home in Northport, Florida on September 1st, alone, driving Gabby's van. He offered no explanation to her family, who were frantically trying to reach her. On September 11th, after days of silence from Brian, Gabby's mother reported her missing to the Suffolk County Police Department. The news spread like wildfire. Social media platforms, especially X, lit up with concern as users like A Little DK pieced together timelines based on Gabby's posts. Hashtags like "Find Gabby" trended, and news outlets began covering the case, amplifying public interest. The question on everyone's mind: where was Gabby and why was Brian back without her? The timeline was chilling. Gabby's last Instagram post was on August 25th, a photo of her smiling outside a Wyoming cafe. A YouTube video uploaded on August 19th, showing their van life highlights, was their final joint post. But a critical clue emerged. On August 12th, police in Moab, Utah, had stopped the couple after a 911 call reported a man slapping a woman. Bodycam footage released later showed Gabby tearful, admitting to a fight, while Brian appeared calm. Police deemed Gabby the aggressor, a decision later criticized online, with users like Kashi Lee calling it a failure to protect her. The incident hinted at tension, but no arrests were made, and the couple continued their trip. Now, with Gabby missing, that encounter took on a sinister weight. The FBI took over the case, coordinating with local police in Wyoming, Utah, and Florida. Search efforts focused on Grand Teton National Park, where Gabby was last seen. Volunteers, drones, and K-9 units scoured the rugged terrain, while divers searched nearby rivers. The public, fueled by social media, became armchair detectives. Ex-users shared maps, analyzed Gabby's posts, and speculated about Brian's whereabouts, with posts like "Anytimes" providing timelines to keep the conversation alive. The pressure was on, and all eyes turned to Brian Laundrie. On September 14th, police seized Gabby's van from Brian's family home. Inside, they found her belongings: clothes, a journal, and a laptop, but no clear answers. Brian, now a person of interest, refused to cooperate. His parents claimed he left home on September 13th to hike in the Carlton Reserve, a 25,000-acre swamp near North Port, and hadn't returned. Suspicion mounted as inconsistencies piled up. Why hadn't Brian reported Gabby missing? Why was he avoiding questions? And why did his parents wait days to report his absence? The FBI issued a warrant for Brian, not for Gabby's disappearance, but for unauthorized use of her debit card. A charge hinting at deeper involvement. A bombshell came from social media sleuths. A couple who'd been in Grand Teton on August 27th posted a vlog showing Gabby's van parked near Spread Creek, pinpointing her last location. The FBI redirected their search, and the public's role in the case grew. Ex-posts, like one from Insider Internet, highlighted how Gabby's story went viral, driven by her influencer status and the public's fascination with van life. The investigation was no longer just police work. It was a global movement, with millions demanding answers. On September 19, 2021, the FBI's search in Spread Creek bore devastating fruit. Human remains were found, later confirmed to be Gabby Petito's. The Teton County coroner ruled her death a homicide, determining she died by manual strangulation 3 to 4 weeks earlier, around late August. The news hit like a tidal wave. Vigils sprang up across the country, with mourners leaving flowers and messages of love. On X, users expressed grief and outrage, with OCNN sharing a timeline to keep the public informed. The media frenzy intensified, with 24/7 coverage dissecting every detail, from Gabby's final texts to Brian's silence. The focus shifted to Brian Laundrie, now a fugitive. The FBI's manhunt in the Carlton Reserve turned up nothing for weeks, frustrating authorities and the public. On October 20th, skeletal remains were found in the reserve, along with Brian's backpack and a notebook. Dental records confirmed it was Brian, dead by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. In the notebook, recovered in January 2022, Brian confessed to killing Gabby, claiming it was a merciful act after an accident, though the FBI dismissed this as self-serving. The confession, detailed in FBI reports, confirmed Brian's sole responsibility, closing the case but leaving lingering questions. Legal proceedings were limited. With Brian dead, no trial could be held, denying Gabby's family a courtroom reckoning. The Petito family filed a civil lawsuit against the Laundries, alleging they knew Gabby was dead and withheld information, causing emotional distress. In 2022, the lawsuit was settled, with funds going to the Gabby Petito Foundation, created to support missing persons cases and domestic violence victims. The Laundries maintained their son acted alone, and no criminal charges were filed against them. The case was closed, but its echoes were far from over. Gabby Petito's story is a heartbreaking reminder of the hidden dangers in relationships and the power of social media in modern mysteries. The Moab police stop, where Gabby was blamed for a fight, exposed critical gaps in handling domestic violence. Ex-users, like Akashili, criticized police for leaving Gabby to sleep in the van while Brian got a hotel, highlighting systemic failures. Experts later noted signs of abuse, Gabby's anxiety, Brian's control, missed by officers untrained in trauma-informed response. The case sparked a reckoning, with calls for better training and policies to protect victims. Social media was a double-edged sword. Gabby's Instagram and YouTube gave her a platform, making her disappearance impossible to ignore. Ex-posts, like Xtarksign's 2025 update on new red flags, kept the case alive, uncovering details like Brian's controlling behavior. Amateur sleuths on platforms like TikTok and Reddit analyzed footage, some even aiding the FBI's search. But the frenzy also spread misinformation, with wild theories about cults or serial killers. The case showed how social media can amplify awareness but also distort truth, a lesson for future investigations. The most enduring legacy is the focus on domestic violence. Gabby's family channeled their grief into advocacy, launching the Gabby Petito Foundation to fund shelters, hotlines, and education. In 2022, the US passed the Violence Against Women Act reauthorization, partly inspired by Gabby's case, expanding resources for survivors. The National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233, saw a surge in calls as Gabby's story encouraged victims to seek help. Her case also highlighted the risks of idealized lifestyles like van life, where isolation can mask abuse. It's a call to action. Know the signs, support survivors, and never assume a perfect post tells the whole story. Gabby A.'s legacy is also seen in the increased awareness around the safety of women on the road. Before her story, van life had been glamorized, showing a carefree lifestyle where everything appeared perfect. Yet for some, this lifestyle can quickly turn dark, especially when abusive partners or dangerous situations are present. Gabby's case challenged this idealized image and made us realize the vulnerability that can exist behind the scenes. It serves as a stark reminder of the importance of safety, even when it seems like everything is going well on the outside. The media and public attention on Gabby's case had ripple effects. More attention was given to cases of missing women, and law enforcement agencies were under increased pressure to address these incidents more seriously and efficiently. Gabby's case also spurred the creation of more online platforms and organizations that track and highlight cases of missing persons, providing more resources for families in search of their loved ones. But beyond the legal implications and the lessons learned from mistakes, Gabby's story continues to resonate in a deeply personal way for her family. For Kate and Joe Petito, the pain of losing their daughter has never been fully healed. The frustration of not being able to see her murderer stand trial, of not having the answers they've been seeking for so long, weighs heavily on their hearts. Still, they have found solace in knowing that their daughter's case has brought about change in the way society views domestic violence and missing persons. While the world may never truly know the full extent of what happened during those final days of Gabby's life, her story has sparked something much larger than the events of her death. It has brought awareness to the often overlooked issue of domestic abuse, to the way social media shapes our perceptions of life, and to the lengths that people will go to protect their loved ones. The ripple effect of this case will continue to reverberate for many years to come, as people are reminded to be vigilant and supportive in ensuring that tragedies like Gabby's do not repeat themselves. From a hopeful road trip to a nationwide search, Gabby Petito's case reminds us of the importance of community, of listening to the voices that are often silenced, and of taking action when we see warning signs. Her story has shown that when we work together, whether it's through police work, social media sleuthing, or simply by paying attention to the world around us, we can help bring about justice, or at least bring about the conversation that leads to change. The case also illustrates the importance of not ignoring red flags, no matter how small they may seem at the time. The incident in Moab, where Gabby was blamed and dismissed by the police, is a poignant example of how vital it is to take concerns seriously, especially when it comes to intimate partner violence. There are countless other situations where warning signs are ignored or minimized, and Gabby's case calls on society to do better in addressing these signs before it is too late. As we reflect on Gabby's story, it's essential to remember that it's not just about one young woman's tragic death. It's about the lessons learned, the lives affected, and the changes brought about in her name. The fight for justice, for accountability, and for the safety of all women continues. Gabby's memory will live on in the work that is being done to prevent similar tragedies in the future. Her story has become a beacon of hope for victims of domestic violence and a reminder that their voices matter, that they deserve to be heard, and that they should never be overlooked. Gabby Petito was more than a victim. She was a symbol of resilience and the catalyst for a much-needed conversation about the realities of relationships, control, and safety. While her story ended in the most heartbreaking way, it will continue to serve as a driving force for change, as a reminder to stay vigilant, compassionate, and committed to protecting those who are vulnerable. As we move forward, we owe it to Gabby, to her family, and to all those who have suffered in silence to keep fighting for justice and for a better world.